Right when I got into prison, they threw me in solitary confinement for 3 days, which you don't leave that room or shower. They put food under the door. I don't understand why they do that or why they did it to me. They definitely would treat me like I was a mix between Hannibal Lecter and Jason Bourne. They had me, even to move me from cell to cell, they shackled my legs and arms together, and they don't do that with any other prisoners. Previously, talked to a lawyer from a buddy of mine, gave me his contact because he knew I was under investigation. He'd say, hey, maybe you should have a lawyer on standby. So I talked to this guy, told him my situation. He was part of a nonprofit called United American Patriots. They said that they would take my case and that I would not pay any, they would fund it, and they would defend me. But other than that, I wasn't allowed to visit them either. They weren't allowed to come visit me. Even phone calls were very hard to do. So once the Navy has to give you a lawyer. They're required to give you legal representation when you're being charged. So the first Navy lawyer that came visit me, he was, like I said, about a month and a half to 2 months in. He was from Lemoore, which was about 3 or 4 hours away from San Diego. He had to go TAD to even come do legal visits with me. And he told me that he would not be able to come see me or represent me as much because of the fact that he was 3 or 4 hours away. One of the first things out of his mouth was, we should start looking at a plea deal. And I told him, no way. But that's what the Brig is. It's a plea deal factory. What they do is they put you in there, pretrial confinement. They set a trial date for, in my case, it's like 9 months later. And while you're in there, they are constantly threatening you with, it's over, like, you're going to lose, you're getting life in prison, which is what they were telling me. And then they let you sit on that for about 3 or 4 months, and then they'll come to you with a plea deal, like, hey, if you just plead guilty to this, we'll only give you, and for me, I think they offered 25 years. We'll give you 25, like I was going to take that. But what I saw is a lot of young sailors, soldiers, Marines, and airmen, they're all in there. They succumb to that because they sit there and they're told, you're done, you're going away for how many years, but if you just plead guilty, we'll only give you 3. And so a lot of these guys who can't afford civilian lawyers end up taking that even though they are innocent. So it's they entrap people in there. So I found all this out, going through it. But yeah, the deck is stacked against you when you're up against the government. And I can tell you the scariest thing when I was in there was when they presented the evidence in my cell, and it was a binder that says, SOC Gallagher versus the United States. And that's exactly what it is. You have the weight of the government coming down on you, and that's no small thing.